Okay, so now we move on to task 1.4. So task 1.4 says modify your program. So we have to modify the program so that it will prompt the user to input part or the whole of a name. So before we were just taking the whole name as an input. Now what we need to do is we need to take part of the name also as an input. Search the whole array to find the search term within the student name string. Same as before, for each array element in which the search term is found within the student name string, output the element in a suitable format. So what we need to do is we need to just output the email of the corresponding corresponding name that we have, and the input can now be also a part or a substring of the name. So for example, if my name is Zen Merchant, if the user just searches for Zen, it will also find Zen Merchant. If the user searches Zen Merchant, it should also return the same thing. And if the user searches for merchant, it should also do the same thing. And if it is just ZA, which is also a substring of the name Zen Merchant, it should do the same thing. So let's move on to the code part. So for this, because since it is a modification of task 1.3, I'm copying the whole thing here and changing it to 1.4. So this is modification in 1.3. Okay, so everything is going to remain the same except for just two things that I'm going to change, so please follow through. So if you do not know how 1.3 goes, you can go to my channel and see all the videos for PRM, and then you come on this video after you are done with 1.3, not before that. So enter the whole or part of the name, since this is our target that we need to achieve. So this is going to go through all the students, check if the value is not equal to static, because static for us is a rogue value, which means that this array element is an empty element. Copy the value of that array element into the record, find where it needs to be broken, find where what the position of hashtag is. So on the left side of the hashtag is going to be name, and on the right it is going to be the email. Break or slice the record from start to the break index that we just found, and this is going to be our name. So instead of comparing it with the search name, since it is not, it could be a substring of the name and not the whole part, what we are going to do is we are going to just use find search name if the value is not equal to -1. So remember, before in task 1.2, even in 1.1, I used this function called find, and it returned -1 -1 if it did not find this substring in the main string. If it finds the substring in the main string, it returns the position from where it starts. Otherwise, it returns -1. If it's not -1, then it means that it did find something that matched as substring, and then we are going to print out the email. Otherwise, we are not going to do that. So that's the only modification in this task 1.4. Let me just run it for you guys and see how it works. So this is going to be 10. The first guy is Zen Merchant. Let me just put the whole name, mail.com. Okay, so I'm not going to input any other names. I'm going to just search for a substring. So my whole name that I've written here is Zen Merchant, the whole name. So it has two parts, Zen and Merchant. I'm going to just search for a substring, a part of this name, just merchant, and it will return the corresponding email address, even though it is just a part of the name. So this here ends our task 1.4. If you want to see the code, you go into the descriptions and see the link and just follow it, and you will see the code. See you guys.